talking about a one-person household.
Damn, these bricklayers, just every brick, bro, every brick just chopping away at the soul.
Can I say something? I feel like it's different for like modern women versus women in the past, because in the past women didn't have options. You know, like nowadays women can get jobs and do something else with their life, but
yeah, we can vote, we can own a home.
These people laying concrete every fucking mile of concrete.
They can own a home.
Yeah, like you couldn't get a job as a woman in the past, so like a lot of women would do like things like that out of desperation, like to feed their families, like. And that was different. Like
these
now,
damn gardeners fucking
options.
mowing lawns and shit.
Like,
every grass of lawn, every blade of grass cut, losing a bit of their soul.
Okay, question. And like the money, the aspect, the fame of that, do you like believe like in heaven? Like, do you believe in God? Like, because at the end of the day, like I look at it as what I have in this world dies here with me. I'm not taking my money. I'm not taking my fame. I'm not taking art, like anything, objects here.
These accountants making sure people don't get fucked by the IRS. Their soul is getting fucking demolished.
And I was trying to answer, but they kept talking, so I couldn't, so I just waited. I've been a Christian my entire life.
These fishermen, every fish.
Oh my God.
Been in the industry for 8 years. I quit several times trying to trust God that He would pay my bills and my family. Like, I support my family. I don't want to get into specifics for my mom's respect and everything, but like, you know, we grew up in extreme poverty, like foreclosed trailer, like very poor. And I stuck behind and helped. And like, I've been able to provide not just for her, but for other people. And on top of that, there's been girls in the industry I've met who, if I wasn't around and talked to them about my faith and my experiences and helped them, they were spiraling down a very bad, like, you know, mental health space. And I feel like everything happens for a reason. So if you believe in God and you believe that all things can happen for good, then why can't you believe that at the end of the day, you might be placed in this position temporarily because you are helping those people and you are helping to better not just yourself.
These lumberjacks, every tree they chop down.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
So when you read the Samaritan at the well, when Christ talks with her, does he say, "Oh, you've been sleeping with all these men, you've been an adulterer. Just continue to do that. It may work out really well, and something providential will occur"? Or does he say, "Sin no more"? Like, is it wrong that you continue to engage in it as a Christian? From your perspective, I mean, obviously, from mine, it is wrong, and so Christ's message isn't like, don't ever judge, never criticize any sort of action, everybody's wonderful, and look, something really grand, and if you don't make enough money, well, just go ahead and do it because I can't bless you enough to make sure I can give you enough financial stability for whatever. That's not the message of the gospel. The message of the gospel is to not commit sin.
So when Jesus was asked, what is the most important law or rule in the Bible, what were the two he named?
Love your neighbor as yourself and love God with all your heart.
Okay.
And so are you loving your neighbor as yourself when you contribute to an industry that we just talked about, that's shifting cultural values, degrading tradition, shifting sexual dynamics between men and women? Is that loving your neighbor as yourself?
You could say the same for employees of companies that cause a lot of damage and toxic waste and health problems to people.
And that would be sinful.
That's like saying, like, oh, if you work for McDonald's, you don't love your neighbor as thyself because it's killing people with diabetes. And
that is not. So you're saying
it's
a Big Mac is the same thing as corn. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying
there's no spectrum
the
here.
7 deadly sins. I don't know. I'm not religious. I'm doing this for selfish reasons. I don't know. I want money for myself. Like,
because you're trying to blame one aspect
software
of it.
engineers.
My point is just that there has to be an objective morality.
I
That's
agree.
all I'm saying.
However, I think that in my certain circumstance, and I can't speak for other women, they may want the fame, they may want the attention and whatever. I know for myself, I decided I'm going to sacrifice and do whatever I need to on a selfless level for the people that I love and care about. And if that, at the end of the day, tells God that I'm not worthy of going to heaven, then like so be it. But I'm going to continue to do what feels right because, you know, for everything you do, guard your heart above all. It's for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs,
Okay.
4:23.
These damn
I have a
Astro
religious
truckers.
I have a religious question. And this
Let's
is
hear
like
it.
honest, and I'm not trying to. Yeah, like I'm
Fucking
genuinely
losing your
asking.
souls,
Okay.
boys, out there in Alaska.
Oh my god, and I like, literally just lost it. Because, like, no.
You got this.
Wait, oh wait, okay, yeah.
He's
Sorry.
five.
It's like ADHD and nerves are like pow, pow, pow. Anyways.
Damn firefighters losing their
they're like,
souls
pow,
and
pow,
fire
pow.
that
No,
put
it's
out.
fine. God's plan, right? Like everyone
Yeah.
says God's plan. If God has a plan for everyone, then like, wouldn't it, like her plan be what it is now? And wouldn't
So-
her plan be what it is?
So we don't have free will.
We got free
So
will.
we don't have free will.
Got free will.
We don't get to make decisions. I
No,
mean,
I'm
what's the
genuinely
point?
asking. I'm like
No,
not religious,
okay,
so
okay.
like I'm like actually
Gotcha.
asking. I'm not trying to be like.
Well, the whole worldview is that, from a Christian paradigm, is that we are made in the image of God, Genesis 1:26, and with that, God was not forced to create the world. He did so because He freely chose so, and it's out of love. And love demands two people being able to choose. So love cannot exist in a deterministic world or in a relationship where somebody dominates you or forces you. That's not love, right? So love has to include free will. And so the entire understanding of creation, our relationship with God, is that we are trying to align our free will, made in the image, being able to actually be a causal force in the world through the things that we choose, to align that with God's will. And the more we do that, the more we as individuals become conduits for God to act in the world. And the whole point of repentance is that we can make wrong choices. Obviously, none of us are perfect. Christ is the only perfect one. So it's same for me, same for everybody at this table. We've all made choices. We've all made the wrong choice. The point that I'm saying is that there has to be an objective standard for us to know if we made the right or the wrong choice. And I'm not condemning anybody or blaming anybody for all things. The point is, if you do believe that there's an objective morality, well, clearly, from a Christian paradigm, corn is one that's going to transgress that morality.
Right.
Wait,
I
understand.
do you believe that certain things are predetermined or not? Like certain things?
What is predetermined? What do you like? Give me an example of what you would
fate
say.
kind of thing. Like you were.
I mean, God has your life
Yeah.
planned out,
Not
and
like
written
certain
before you
things.
even.
Like at least certain things could be
Yeah, but
predetermined.
that's what I'm confused about.
Like I'm not
I
saying
was
little
gonna say something
details,
like-
but like I don't know. Certain basic things, like how many kids you will have.
No, I mean, that's still, again, this was a conversation that came up yesterday in the debate, is God's perspective is outside space and time, right? So from God's perspective, you've already lived and you've already died. Because He's already knows the decisions that you made, but His knowledge, again, this is a logical fallacy that foreknowledge entails causality. And that's what I was trying to convey to Zena yesterday. It violates the laws of logic. So just because God knows the choices we make and knows the end point of our lives, that we are living within temporal space and time right now, we are experiencing the journey. But God is outside space and time.
Yeah.
So He can already see the choices we made, and He doesn't determine the choices we made, the fact that He knows what we've made. And in that journey, He can absolutely have providence and providential occurrences in which things line up. And it does feel like fate or destiny, but your future is not written in stone. Well, you get to choose that.
I got a question for you. And then we do have to move off the religious stuff. But so you're a religious studies scholar. Is it logically possible? And just I have very pro-Christian sentiments. I'm not stating anything like that this is the case. But is it logically possible that Christianity could be false?
Well, I would argue if you utilize logic and you begin to analyze different systems, so obviously atheism is already out because a materialistic framework doesn't allow for objective epistemology and objective morality. They're all cultural constructions, so therefore relative and therefore they can change. So
I'm not smart enough. Can you
Okay.
remember, I'm not you explain like I'm 5.
All right. So then, well, you're asking me to defend entire religious orientation, and that's going to take a few bigger words than maybe 2 syllables. But
By the way, I'm not saying it is false. I'm just asking if logically it's possible that it could be.
I would say if you utilize logic to the end point, it's the only paradigm that makes knowledge, objective morality, and a coherent metaphysical world make sense. And so when people do apologetics against something like Islam, we are then using the laws of logic to analyze, okay, this is the God that you worship. Does it violate things, or does it become incoherent or self-contradictory? And so from a Christian perspective, we would say, well, we can deal with this, and the entire history of apologetics is showing that actually if we use reason and we use logic and we use even natural observation, we can make the case that our faith is actually superior, and we're the only one that claims that God came into the world. So out of all the world religions, it's only Christianity that says God actually took on human nature so that we then can participate in divinity. All of them still has a barrier between how exactly does me as an individual engage with God, something that's totally transcendent. And I would say only Christianity actually fully bridges that because God became man.
But no?
No.
Logically?
No.
So no, it's not logically possible that it could be false.
Your
answer would be
I
no.
would say, no,
Okay, I
because
see.
logic would entail that it's superior to all the other religious orientations.
Mm-hmm. And then I wanted to ask, could there be some circumstance, like if it was proven to you, like for example, let's say you could time travel to the past, and it's a perfect time machine. There's nothing faulty with it, and it is, there's theories about like different timelines, different universes, stuff like that. But our current timeline, assuming you could travel back to our specific universe, our specific timeline, it is a perfect time machine. And you witnessed yourself that, say the story told of Jesus, let's say it's not accurate. There is no resurrection. None of the miracles described in the Bible occurred. The healing miracles, nature miracles, exorcisms, resurrections. If you witnessed it yourself, and this is a hypothetical,
Right.
would you still be a Christian?
Well, I would say that the question is already, it's filled with the answer. So you're saying, theoretically, you're saying, if it's all false and you saw it's false, do you believe it's false? And it's like, well, you've already asked me a leading question that I can't actually have a different opinion on.
Okay, I
Because you've
see.
already said it's, okay, pretend everything's false.
Under those
and then you know it's
circumstances,
false.
sure.
Would you believe it's false? And it's like, well, you just put me in a position where you've characterized the whole thing as
It would
wrong.
have to
So
be, sure.
there is no out on that. That hypothetical.
But that would only be a discrepancy in terms of Jesus. Would you still believe that there could be a God?
I mean, yeah, there could be a generic deity.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm Christian because I've kicked the tires. I think that's the difference between Christianity and some of these other systems, is that it welcomes criticism. And I think Orthodoxy in particular has a long history. It's a 2,000-year-old church founded by the apostles, split with Catholicism in 1054, and it's maintained that structure the whole time. And it now still exists in 2025, unchanged in many ways. So, in my opinion, we welcome criticism. I think that's why when you look online and you see who the best debaters and what's really kind of getting the views, it's orthodoxy, because we welcome the criticism.
Sure.
Kick the tires, debate us.
Yeah.
We welcome it because we think that we have the superior position.
But yeah, I guess my question is, going back to my previous question though, if it's logically possible that it could be false, under this hypothetical scenario where you could time travel back in time, it's a perfect time machine, it is the same universe,